Here's the thing. Most people get wrong about money. They think it's the goal. It's not. Money is a tool, nothing more, nothing less. And like any tool, its value depends entirely on what you do with it. Think about it. A hammer sitting in your garage isn't valuable. But a hammer in the hands of someone building a house, that's when it matters. Money works the same way. And if you don't understand what money actually is, you'll spend your entire life chasing the wrong thing. In this video, we're going to break down what money actually is, the three core functions it serves, why wealth and income are not the same thing, and the biggest money myths that derail people early. By the end, you'll have a completely different relationship with money, one based on clarity, not confusion. Let's start at the beginning. Money serves three core functions. Every currency that's ever existed, from seashells to gold coins to digital dollars, does these three things. First, money is a store of value. It's a way to preserve your purchasing power over time. You work today, get paid, and that money should still be worth something next month or next year. Notice I said should. We'll come back to that. Second, money is a medium of exchange. Instead of bartering, trading your chickens for someone's firewood, we use money as an intermediary. It's universally accepted, divisible, and portable. This is why money is so powerful. It's liquid. You can convert it into almost anything. Third, money is a unit of account. It's a standardized way to measure and compare value. A house costs $400,000. A coffee costs $5. A car costs $30,000. Money gives us a common language for value. Without this, we'd have no idea how to price anything or make rational economic decisions. So those are the three functions. But here's the critical part most people miss. Money is not the destination. It's a vehicle. Hoarding money for the sake of having a big number in your bank account is like collecting hammers and never building anything. The value isn't in the tool, it's in what the tool enables you to create, protect, or experience. This mindset shift is foundational because once you see money as a tool, you stop asking, how much money do I have? And start asking, what do I want this money to do for me? Now, let's talk about the difference between wealth and income, because this is where most people get completely tripped up. Income is how much money flows in. Your salary, your side hustle, your freelance gigs, that's income. Wealth is what you keep, grow, and deploy. Here's the distinction that matters. Someone making $200,000 a year but spending $210,000 is poorer than someone making $60,000 and saving $10,000 annually. Read that again. The person earning $200,000 has negative cash flow. They're going backwards. The person earning $60,000 is building wealth, slowly but steadily. Wealth isn't what you earn. It's what you accumulate and put to work. Think of income as water flowing from a faucet and wealth as what you capture in the bucket. If your bucket has holes in it, lifestyle inflation, high interest debt, impulse spending, it doesn't matter how hard the water flows, you'll never fill the bucket. This is why you see high-income professionals, doctors, lawyers, engineers living paycheck to paycheck. Great income, zero wealth. Meanwhile, someone earning a modest salary but living below their means, investing the difference and letting compounding work, that person builds real wealth. So when you're evaluating your financial situation, stop focusing on the income number. Focus on the gap between what you earn and what you spend. That gap is your wealth building engine. The wider the gap, the faster you build optionality, security, and freedom. All right, let's bust some myths. These are the stories people tell themselves about money, and they're all wrong. Myth number one, I'll start investing when I make more money. This is the most common excuse, and it's completely backwards. Wealth isn't built by waiting for more income. It's built by starting early and letting time do the work. Someone who invests $200 a month starting at age 25 will end up with more money at 65 than someone who invests $500 a month starting at age 35, even though the second person contributed more total dollars. Why? Compounding. Time is the biggest multiplier in finance and you can't buy it back. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today. Myth number 2, money equals success. Money is a scorecard, not the game itself. Success is building a life aligned with your values. Money is just one tool that might help you do that. Plenty of wealthy people are miserable. Plenty of modest earners are deeply fulfilled. The real question isn't how much money do I have? It's, does my money support the life I actually want to live? If the answer is no, then more money won't fix it. You'll just be unhappy at a higher income bracket. Myth number 3, investing is only for rich people. This myth keeps more people poor than almost anything else. Investing isn't about having a lot of money. It's about putting your money to work instead of letting it sit idle. You can start investing with $50. Literally, most brokerages have 0 account minimums now. You can buy fractional shares of index funds. The barrier isn't money, it's knowledge and mindset. And you're fixing that right now by watching this video. Myth number 4, I need to be good at math to invest. No, you don't. Successful investing isn't about complex equations. It's about understanding a few core principles and having the discipline to stick with them. Can you understand that spending less than you earn creates surplus? Can you grasp that investing that surplus consistently over decades builds wealth? Congratulations. You have all the math you need. The hard part isn't the math. It's a behavior, and we'll cover that in future videos. Myth number 5, saving money means depriving myself. This is a framing problem. Saving isn't about deprivation, it's about prioritization. When you save, you're not giving something up. You're trading a small, immediate pleasure for a larger future freedom. You're choosing optionality over impulse, flexibility over short-term gratification. The people who build wealth don't feel deprived. They feel empowered because every dollar saved is a vote for future autonomy. Let's bring it all together. Money is a tool with 3 functions: store of value, medium of exchange, unit of account. It's not the goal, it's the means. Wealth isn't about how much you earn. It's about the gap between earning and spending and what you do with that gap. And the myths? They're just stories people tell themselves to avoid taking action. Starting small beats, waiting for perfect. Behavior beats math. Intentionality beats income. Here's the truth. Understanding money isn't complicated, but it is foundational. If you don't get this right, if you keep treating money as a destination instead of the vehicle, you'll spend decades chasing a moving target and wondering why you never feel financially secure. But if you internalize this, if you shift from how much money do I have to what do I want my money to do, everything changes. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop chasing status purchases. You start building a financial life that actually serves you. That's what this series is about. We're building your financial foundation, one concept at a time. Next video, we're going to talk about how the financial system actually works. Banks, markets, inflation, and why asset prices move before the economy does. But for now, take a second and ask yourself, what do I want my money to do for me? Write it down. We'll come back to it. See you in the next one.